Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associate. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. So we've got two very deep-seated plugs, but very different consistencies. So this first patient here, the plug is quite deep. It's almost right on top of the eardrum. It's very soft because the patient's been using a little bit of olive oil. There's also a little bit of dry skin in there as well. So we're going to go in with a standard size ulnar tube here and just very gently lift and very slowly draw this plug back. We don't want it to shear off if we can. So as we're drawing this out, we're just going to lift it a little bit here just to get it out of the ear canal. What you'll notice as we get it so far, it seems to almost spring back in a little bit. And that's because there's actually a little bit of skin attached in here as well, which you'll see in a second. So as we draw this forward, there's a little skin ribbon. Look, you can see how that pulled and then folded back in because it's still attached further into the ear canal. So we're just going to hold on to this now. There we are, lovely little bit of a pull on that skin ribbon. Just sheared the front end off. See if we can go back in and get the remainder out here. You're always going to be a little bit more gentle with skin ribbons. As they come away, you will feel that slight pinch or scratch just as it comes away from the inside of the ear canal. But look at this ribbon coming away here. There we are. You can see that was the third installment that I took away. Eardrum as well, looking perfect there. Good shiny light reflex. Really pearlescent as well, that eardrum. But you can see how that long kind of ribbon, you can see it here between that sort of 1 and 2 centimeter mark. So we've got just over 2.5 centimeters, about 1 inch and 1/8 thereabouts. So you can see it's just pulling away that long strip attached to that central piece of wax there as well. It's not unusual to get these long ribbons binding to different parts of the wax, and as you pull it away then it just holds on to it a little bit more securely, so as you're pulling it, it jumps back in. Oh my goodness, this lovely patient came through today. Oh, feeling so blocked up. A lot of ear pain and jaw pain as well with this patient. Look at this piece of wax. It is so deep and it looks dry. Now this, if you ever do any wax removals, this is kind of your worst nightmare as far as wax is concerned. It is bone dry. It's a mixture of skin and dry wax debris. It is sitting into the anterior recess, bang up against the eardrum as well. It's top to bottom. So this plug it's filling about 2/3 or covering about 2/3 of the eardrum, but dry as a bone. It's just not really budging. Now, this patient has been using a little bit of olive oil, but as you can see, the ear canal entrance is very narrow. And I think where they've been putting some drops in, it's been sitting at the entrance rather than actually getting down into the ear canal, which is why we use an olive oil spray here at Audiology Associates, just to help to get that olive oil in. You can see I've absolutely doused this ear canal in olive oil. We've absolutely soaked it, just because if we lift this is why this is an awkward one to do. The first two reasons, it's sitting very deep, so it's very uncomfortable. It's sandwiched between the canal wall and the eardrum, both of which are really sensitive. It's going bottom to top as well, so it's completely full. So it means we can't pull, we can't push, and we can't lift. So this is where you're kind of just trying to get at something that's firmly wedged in there, and I can only really move it in one direction. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to maneuver the bottom section around. Okay, so we can't lift it, we can't pull it out of the recess as we normally would. So I'm trying to move it around here and then try to slide it across. If I can slide the whole plug out of the recess, I can pull it from that point. But it's so firmly dry to the canal wall. This was a really difficult one. Even I was doubting whether I could get this out or not today, because it was we might have had to get the patient back, a bit of olive oil in there for a good few weeks to soften this. We may have stood a better chance of getting this out. But what you can see is as I'm trying to twist, it's actually starting to lift out of the recess, but I can't go straight up. I'm trying to move it across. So I'm trying to pull it one way and then just use that bit of leverage then to pull it back on itself to ease this, wiggle it out of that recess. Now I know on episode 500 you guys were talking about liking the anterior recess removals. This is a perfect example of that. I've switched to the fine end now. It's going to help me with my visuals a little bit. So we're just going to pop just through those cilia there. But it's also going to help me pinpoint certain parts of that wax to move. With the standard size ulnar tube, obviously you get a fantastic grip, but you don't have as much maneuverability because it's a wider tube. With the fine end, you can sometimes get a little bit more movement, which is what I was just loosening that bottom end there. We can go back in now with the standard size ulnar tube. You can see I'm just getting a bit of movement to this bottom section. I'm trying to lift over the top of the recess if we can. Patient was doing really well. obviously you can imagine having something pressing against that really sensitive skin was so uncomfortable for this patient. They were getting a lot of referred pain down here into the neck and along the jawline here as well, so which is quite common with wax problems. So we're just going to lift this last little bit. Let's see if we can, you can see I've just got the very, very delicate wiggle there. Certainly no turbo wiggling today, but you can see it's very, very delicate and very small movements. We don't want to push it against the drum. We don't want to jam it back into the anterior recess. It's starting to lift, but just getting a bit of movement. There we go, it's lifted over and out that comes. So we just managed to get it over the top of that recess. I think if this patient had left it too much longer, the only kind of recourse we've had with this one would be to use a lot of olive oil over the next couple of weeks, really soften that up and stand a better chance of getting that out, you know, if it was a little bit softer. But as it was, we managed to get it out today. We've had to use the Jobson horn here just to flick it out to the ear canal. We'll lift it up now in a second. I will show you this now. It looks pathetic on the piece of paper. It looks huge in there. It looks tiny. You can see it, all the blood vessels that come to the surface there on top of the hammer bone. Understandably so, you've got something pressed against it like that. So this is what we removed. So you can see it's only about 1 centimeter. Don't forget, guys, your eardrum, roughly the tip of your little finger. Everyone's now looking at the little finger to see it, but roughly about that size. So it gives you a good indication of how much we took away. Well, thanks very much for watching our video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. There'll be another video on Friday. Don't forget, there won't be any videos next week. I'm off because I have to go in and have some bits and pieces done. So I'll be off for a week and I'll be back here then the week after. So as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.